Awareness is useless without action. Now, let me say that again. Self-awareness without change is the prison that keeps you stuck. You can know every flaw, every pattern, every trauma, and still repeat it for the rest of your life. And today, I'm going to show you why that happens, why most people stay trapped in awareness loop, and how you can finally break free and make change last. Hi, I'm Arina Papa, founder of the AP Method, and if you're ready to do life, love, and success in a way that actually gets you results, then this video and this channel is for you, and you're going to love today's video. But before we really dive in, I want to ask you one quick favor. Everything starts with clarity. So make sure you download my free Discover Your Core Values workbook. The link is in the description. It's the foundation for all transformation. And if you're enjoying this content, please also like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel and get this message out to more people who also need it on their journey as well. Now let's get into the truth about awareness and why it often keeps us stuck instead of setting us free. Now, have you ever noticed how some people are incredibly self-aware? They can name all their flaws, all their patterns, all their traumas, yet nothing actually changes in their life. They'll say things like, oh, I know I sabotage, I know that I do this, I know that I'm always late, I know that I procrastinate, but it's just who I am. And yet years go by and they're still in the same loops. Now, it's not because they don't care. It's not because they don't know better. It's because awareness without change is like buying a cookbook but never actually using it to do any cooking. You can highlight the recipes, memorize the instructions, but you'll stay hungry until you actually use them. And awareness without action is intellectual entertainment. In fact, awareness can even make things worse, because once you can name your pattern, you start using it as an excuse instead of a doorway out. You'll say, well, I know I'm anxious, so that explains everything, or I know I avoid conflict, that's just me, and you reinforce it every time you repeat it. So here's the harsh reality. You don't get credit for knowing your problem. You only get results when you change it. So why do so many people cling to awareness and never step into transformation? Well, psychologists call this the intention behavior gap. It's the space between what you want to do and what you actually do. You want to exercise, but the couch wins. You want to have the tough conversation, but silence feels safer. You want to finally stop repeating that relationship pattern, but you slip back in. A fascinating study from the University of Amsterdam found that when people wrote down their goals, their brain rewarded them with dopamine, the same chemical hit you'd get from making actual progress. Thinking about change felt like change, but nothing shifted in reality. That's why people stay stuck journaling, overtalking, or endlessly processing their wounds without moving forward. The brain loves the illusion of progress. If you do this, it kind of rewards you for awareness itself. But awareness without action is like running on a treadmill, a lot of effort, but you're still in the same place. Now, neuroscience adds another layer. Habits are stored in the basal ganglia, the automation hub of the brain. Once a pattern is repeated enough, it moves from conscious effort into automatic storage. That's why you don't think about brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, or checking your phone. It's kind of hardwired. So when you suddenly notice your pattern, I procrastinate, I overreact, I chase emotionally unavailable people, awareness doesn't delete it. The file is still on the desktop. The shortcut is still there. So if you want different results, you have to override it with new wiring. And here's what most people miss. The brain doesn't care whether the habit helps you or hurts you. It only cares about repetition. If you rehearsed anxiety, avoidance, or overthinking 1,000 times, that's the wiring your brain believes you want, which means you can't just become aware of it. You have to deliberately overwrite it. Now let's bring in some quantum perspective. The observer effect tells us that just observing changes reality. But in human behavior, the opposite often happens. You observe yourself, you label it, and instead of shifting into a new identity, you reinforce the old one. You say, I'm anxious, I'm avoidant, I'm a procrastinator, and your brain takes it as an instruction to keep being that. This is why identity is so powerful. Every time you repeat a label, you stamp it into your nervous system and your energetic field. You're programming it deeper, and the more you say it, the harder it is to escape it. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Awareness without action isn't harmless. It's dangerous because it keeps you circling the same identity, strengthening the rut every time you repeat it. But why do we cling to awareness instead of change? Well, the first reason is the victim payoff. Change means risking the unknown. Awareness allows us to stay safe inside the familiar. If I say I'm avoidant, that's just me, then I never have to risk intimacy. If I say I'm insecure because of trauma, then I never have to test my worth in a new context. The excuse becomes the shield. The second reason is the energy cost. New behaviors demand more effort. Your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, it tires quickly. That's why at night you default to comfort food, scrolling, or the old habits you swore you'd quit. The brain is built to conserve energy, not to spend it on hard change. A Harvard study on ego depletion showed this clearly. Participants were told to resist eating cookies while sitting next to a plate of them. Later, they performed worse on unrelated self-control tasks. Their willpower was drained by the act of resisting. Now imagine trying to change an entire identity. No wonder it feels exhausting. But exhaustion doesn't mean impossible. It simply means you need a system that rewires you gradually, not a burst of willpower that burns out. So how do you actually turn awareness into transformation? I want to give you 3 tools that will move you out of the awareness trap, and I'll tell you now, the second one is the most powerful for rewiring, and the third one may sting, but it's the one that will set you free. So stick with me. The first tool is what I call the awareness to action bridge. This is where you retrain your brain to treat awareness as a trigger, not a comfort zone. Every time you notice your pattern, you immediately ask, what's the next action that interrupts this? So if you say, I'm overthinking, the action is write down 3 options, choose one, and act. If you say, I'm avoidant, the action is send 1 vulnerable text. If you say I procrastinate, the action is set a timer for 2 minutes and start doing the thing. Now it doesn't matter if the step is tiny. Tiny is powerful. Tiny bypasses resistance. Tiny rewires faster than big dramatic gestures that fizzle out. So here's what most people miss. The size of the step doesn't really matter nearly as much as the pattern of response. You're teaching your brain awareness equals action. That pairing is what rewires the loop. Your journaling exercise here is write down 3 areas in your life where you stop at awareness. For each, commit to 1 micro action you'll take the very next time. And here's the deeper prompt. Why do I stop at awareness in the first place? What fear am I avoiding by not moving? Ask yourself this. The second tool is scripting your future self. Neuroscience shows the brain doesn't fully distinguish between imagination and reality. In one study, people who only imagined playing piano scales showed brain changes almost identical to those who physically practiced. Their motor cortex literally rewired. So here's your practice. Every morning, script your day as if you are already the person you want to be. Write down, I am the kind of person who, and then fill in the blank. For example, I'm the sort of person that's calm under pressure. When challenges come, I breathe, I pause, I respond with strength. And don't just write it, say it aloud, visualize the moment, feel it in your body, and add sensory detail. The brain codes vivid imagination as rehearsal for reality. So here's your practice. Every morning, script your day as if you are already the person you want to be. Write down, I am the kind of person who, fill in the blanks. For example, is calm under pressure. Whatever challenges that come my way, I breathe, I pause, and I respond with strength. Now, don't just write it, say it aloud. Visualize the moment, feel it in your body. Add sensory detail. Now, your journaling prompt here is multi-layered. If I were already the secure version of me, how would I think today? How would I act today? How would I feel in my body? How would I respond to stress, to love, to opportunity? Write a whole page for each question. Take your time and really go through this. Here's another layer. Imagine specific situations you'll face today, possibly, and write out how the future you will handle them. If you know someone may trigger you, write down, when they do this, I will, and put something like, I will breathe, I will smile, I'll respond calmly. That rehearsal rewires you to act differently when the moment arrives. And now the third tool, the pain versus possibility reframe. This is the one most people resist because it hurts, but it's also the one that creates the biggest shift. Daniel Kahneman's research on loss aversion shows that humans are twice as motivated to avoid loss as we are to gain reward. That's why we cling to bad habits, toxic jobs, or unhealthy relationships. The brain minimizes the cost of staying and exaggerates the cost of change. But you can flip this, and here's the exercise. Write 2 lists. List number 1, what will it cost me if I never change this pattern? Now get brutally honest, write everything. The relationships you'll lose, the time you'll waste, the dreams that will die, even the health consequences or the financial costs. Write it until it stings. Now list number 2, what will open up if I do change? Write the vision in vivid color, the opportunities, the love, the freedom, the future self you wake up proud to be. Now read these lists daily. This creates urgency and hope together, and emotional intensity is what rewires you. Now, before we continue, let me pause. If this message is speaking to you, please hit like and subscribe. It helps me grow the channel and share this work with more people who are also ready for their transformation. Now let's get back to the video. Here's what most people never realize. Awareness often disguises itself as wisdom, when really it's fear. So saying, that's just who I am, is not necessarily wisdom. It's fear wearing the mask of self-knowledge. But science proves it's never too late to change. Research on neuroplasticity shows that the brain can grow new pathways at any age. Studies at University College of London found that older adults who learned a new language developed new grey matter, just like younger students. The brain didn't care about their age, it cared about repetition and intensity. And here's something else that's really fascinating. In a basketball study, one group physically practiced free throws whilst another group only visualized them. Both improved. The brain wired for the action whether or not the body moved. So every time you vividly imagine being your future self, every time you script it, every time you act, even in micro steps, your brain is already changing. You're not waiting for transformation, you're in it right now. So let's land this. Awareness is the doorway, but it's not the destination. Awareness opens the possibility, but action walks you through it. Embodiment keeps you there until it becomes who you are. So you don't need more awareness. You need courage now. You need action, because knowing your problem doesn't change your life. Acting differently again and again does. And the longer you cling to this is who I am, the more you guarantee that's all you ever be. But if you dare to step out, to embody new actions, to practice new identities, the brain, the body, and even the quantum field itself will meet you there. And hear this, you are not your patterns. You are the one who chooses. And if you want to start right now, download my free Discover Your Core Values workbook below. And if you're ready for deeper work, then book a one-to-one call with me or join my Freedom Formula workshop or sign up for the program, whatever you want to do. You're here to rise and you're here to step into sustainable transformation and into a new identity. And that starts the moment you stop using awareness as an excuse and start using it as fuel. Thank you once again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me that thumbs up, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Bye for now.